All right. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwath that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab Mwam back at you with another lesson. And going into the title, all right, Digital IDs, 2026 year of the N.W.O and technology, all right, and it's gonna go based off this this video for Instagram, all right, and before I do.
The beast coming in hot. Watch this video. They're just telling us right in front of us, just teeing it up. You know, it's funny. You and I have probably been called crazy conspiracy theorists more times than we.
Okay, so we.
Thank you. Today, we're excited to announce the next frontier AI model company.
All right. Yeah, that's not the one.
Tonight, I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny.
So I'm gonna play two videos. All right. And one of them is DJ Trump saying that he would never allow that he would never allow the creation of central bank digital currency. All right, and remember those words at the end of the day, because he's still gonna be the one to make that shit mandatory. You know, Lord willing, he be the one for sure. All right, but he promised, you know, basically making that vow that we would never, you know, go into the, you know, the path of central bank and digital currency. Okay, and we already know that these devils is known as liars. All right, as the scriptures say, the wicked is estranged from the womb. As soon as they be born, they speak lies. All right, so they're known for lies. They're known to, you know, say one thing and go against their words. All right, that's why you can never trust your enemy, as the scriptures say. Never trust that enemy, because like iron rusted, so is his wickedness. All right, so at the end of the day, he's going to declare his wickedness where his true horns are. All right, and he's going to reveal to you that he is, all right, the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right, so let me put this video real quick, and it's going to be a quick one. All right.
Tonight, I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny. As your president, I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. You know about that? I didn't know you know so much. Very well, New Hampshire, very smart people, very current. You know what they're doing. Such a currency would give a federal government, our federal government, the absolute control over your money. They could take your money, you wouldn't even know it was gone. This would be a dangerous threat to freedom, and I will stop it from coming. Tonight, I'm also making another promise.
And that's why they're going to throw something like a cyber attack in the air, all right? Because they're going to have to make a move like that in order to just have everybody's bank accounts erased, all right? And then that's how they're going to bring, you know, this place into total chaos, you know, order app chaos, problem reaction solution. You know, we cut off the lights, we cut off the internet, we cut off everything through a cyber attack, and then we have no choice but to bring in a reset and bring in a solution. All right, and the solution is going to be that RFID, the hour of temptation. You see, they're going to give it to you and give you convenience with it. All right, well, this will never happen again if you're connected to our system and you have this, you know, RFID, this C-hip in your body. All right, they can't hack your body, they'll say. We won't have to worry about cyber attacks, but that's a whole damn full-blown lie. All right, because if you can hack a computer, you could definitely hack somebody that has an RFID in their body and connected to a system. You see, so it all goes back to being lies. Right, now let's grab this other video and listen to this. This is a prediction in less than 90 days that all channels that we thought were safe from spam and automation will be flooded. Okay, that they will no longer be usable in any functional sense. Okay, and this is going to be a way, he's going to speak about, this is going to be a way for them to bring a digital ID, which is going to lead to also what, that digital currency is going to lead to the RFID, because all roads lead back to this RFID, man. All right, the mark of the beast. All right, so listen to this.
That they will no longer be usable in any. So the digital ID system is going to take place sometime in the future. We don't know when it's going to take place, but it's going to take place sometime in the future. But the question on the table is, how are they going to get all of us to sign on to join that system? And so this post that was just posted on February 11th might be the answer. Because this guy, Nikita, he's the head of product on X. And just on February 11th, just a couple days ago, he made a prediction. And he said in less than 90 days, all channels that we thought were safe from spam and automation will be so flooded that they will no longer be usable in any functional sense. iMessage, phone calls, Gmail, and we will have no way to stop it. Now, this has 8.8 million views. Reason why this is
not so long ago, I did a video about a month back, talking about I forgot what the lady's name was. It was a lady. She was talking about how they want to get in order for you to use the internet, Gmails and all that you have to be connected to a digital ID, which is going to be connected to the RFID. She was saying, basically, connecting it all to a digital currency also, you see, because in order for you to use the internet, the YouTube and all this, you will have to actually pay for it through that through the digital currency, you see. So you have to have the digital ID for confirmation that you're real, okay, and that you would be using digital currency to pay for it to be able to use it, you see. Going back to what I said, all roads lead back to what? The RFID, okay?
Connected to artificial intelligence is because recently there's this artificial intelligence. It's called Seed Dance. If you guys have seen the video of Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise fighting, you can't tell that it is fake. We can't tell that it is artificial intelligence. And so that is what is going to be being implemented in all of society. And so what this guy is saying is that we're not going to know what's real anymore. And so the idea is that
scary. And that's scary because this is how they're going to be able to persecute brothers off of this. All right. We're coming into a newer technology and a more advanced time. All right. Day by day on this, all these AI videos. So they're perfecting that shit. See, right now you can still look on the internet and see AI videos and tell that they're AI because they have a glitch to it. Something be off all the time. But see, they're in the process of making this shit a perfection to the point where you're, like you just said, you're not even going to be able to tell no more if the shit is fucking AI or not. And that's scary because this is how a lot of shit is going to be brought up upon us as, to use it for persecution. They're going to try to make us look real bad in front of the world. All right. But see, if you've been watching, you know that the true men of the Lord, all right, we don't roll like that. All right. But this is what they're going to do. Okay. So we have to be prepared for these things. All right. Watch what he keeps saying.
Reality. That it is artificial intelligence. And so that is what is going to be being implemented in all of society. And so what this guy is saying is that we're not going to know what's real anymore. And so the idea is that this reality that you and I are trending towards is going to be involving artificial intelligence that is unrecognizable or indistinguishable, rather, to human beings. And so for the first time ever, we are not going to know what's real anymore. If you answer the phone when the phone rings, it's going to be a voice that you're familiar to, but it's going to be artificial intelligence. It's going to be a picture where you're going to see something.
That's fucking wild, yo. This is why now it all makes sense why they've been, getting you to tap into these social media.
It's not, you're not going to know if it's real or. So the digital ID system.
I just lost that. I'll put it back though. Basically, this is how they're gonna be literally, this is why they have you into these social medias. All right, that's why they always got something that you're being connected to, all right, to be able to record the way you speak, how you text, all right, how people speak amongst other people. They have all these ways of catching on to the lingos of people, you see. And they've been doing that for years, man. That's what the scriptures talk about, how he makes a diligent search, okay? Literally making a diligent search upon our people. And he's been doing it through the way of technology right now more than ever. So now by them doing that, you see, he just said it, they're able to have someone talk to you on the phone and it sound like your mother, your father, your brother, your best friend. It might sound like your wife, okay? Whatever it is, might sound like your kids. And that shit is a whole entire AI, man. All right. Scary times that we're in. That's why you got to be circumspect, redeeming the times, because the days are evil. We have to be on top of these things. We cannot be ignorant to Satan's devices. All right.
Is going to take place. Artificial intelligence that is unrecognizable or indistinguishable, rather, to human beings. And so for the first time ever, we are not going to know what's real anymore. If you answer the phone when the phone rings, it's going to be a voice that you're familiar to, but it's going to be artificial intelligence. It's going to be a picture where you're going to see somebody and you're not going to know if it's real or fake anymore. That is where we are going. And so the question on the table right now is, going back to digital IDs, is like, how in the world are they going to get everybody to sign into this program or to this system for digital IDs? And so the idea that at least I'm bouncing around in my own mind is perhaps what this guy basically just signaled. In less than 90 days, all of the things that you and I are familiar with are no longer going to be trusted because of the rise of artificial intelligence. And so enter in digital IDs. Because digital IDs is going,
because I got like a lot of brothers been having this feeling of July 4th. The July 4th is the 250-year mark, right, for this empire here, Babylon the Great. All right, and in this is in 90 days they talking about this. So we're at the end, all right, of this month. We're about to be in March already, okay, and we're also coming up by the Pesach. Right, so we're about to be in March. All right, that's the third month. In 90 days, that makes it halfway through the year, going right around that time of July 4th. All right, that's going to be in June, but still, it might not happen right. Remember, these devils always give a time, they give a date, all right, and they never do it on the date that they tell it. They'll do it a couple, maybe a month, maybe 2 months after that, a couple weeks after that. All right, so it is through the spirit is looking like around that time they're gonna do some crazy shit. All right, and I've been feeling that through the spirit for a while now. That around July 4th, around June, around that June is the 6th month. They like to use numerology. That's a wicked ass month for them. You see, and then coming the 7th, that's the completion to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and on top of that is that 250-year mark. All right, so there's something that's going to be brewing up around that time, man. And it will be perfect, because then what will happen is the perfect time to do something around that time, because then comes the summer. The summer's going to be agitated time, right? Because the summer gets hot and people get agitated, all of that, right? But it will be perfect for them to do something around that time, cause chaos throughout the summer, fuck up everybody's summer. And then you coming right into the time of what? Fall and into winter, you see? And all hell be breaking loose by then, And the scriptures talk about, pray that your flight be not in the winter, So through the spirit, I've always had also, thoughts of how things would play out in a time of winter, in a time of the cold. That's why they always speak about that dark winter, because they want to have it. I've always thought they always wanted to have it happen in the middle of summer, So by the time we get into that winter, shit is already just all over the place, messed up. All right. And that's just going to be make it harder for people to survive, all of that. All right. So we, you know, that just speaking as a man. All right. But you got to read these things through the spirit. Okay. So in 3 more months, it's going to be June. It's going to be dead ass June because we're already at the end of this month. Right. This month is done. What is it? The 27th, 28th, around there. All right. And we're already on the, what's today? The 20th, the 19th. Today's the 19th. All right. So this came out yesterday. I believe this video came. Let's see. I don't know when this video came out, but he's speaking about the post came out on February 11th. Okay. So, you know, almost, you know, mid-month. Okay. So we just have to, you know, sit back and watch as watchmen, as we're doing every day, bringing out, you know, scriptures and giving you updates on what's going on worldwide. Okay. But let's listen.
To basically be the system that authenticates whether you are a human. And that never technology. So now basically be the system that authenticates what digital IDs. Because digital IDs is going to basically be the system that authenticates whether you are a human. And that never used to be an issue anymore. Like nobody would ever question whether you're human or not because there wasn't this technology. But now we are in the world where there is this technology. And so now, in order to safeguard yourself amongst all of these people who are trying to scam you and the robots and the AI that are out there doing all the crazy stuff, we need to find a way to discern what is robotic or artificial intelligence and what is human. And so there is this digital ID system that is ready to save the day. So the digital ID system is going to take place sometime in the future. We don't know when it's going to take.
And it makes perfect sense, you know, because with all this confusion of AI, you know, which the men of the Lord, these people, us that's in this truth, we're not confused by the AI. We're not ignorant to Satan's devices. We know he always conjuring some shit. He always got some bullshit agenda trying to mislead somebody. So we expect it. But to the rest of the world, they're going to be fooled by it, you see? And it just makes sense that, hey, with all this AI, all right, they have to set in these digital IDs for verification of what's real and what's AI, what's real and what's not, you see? And if they do bring it out like that, again, it's just going to lead back to the one thing, to the RFID, because then with that, what they're going to use the digital ID for is for the verification. All right. But in order for you to pay, to buy, you know, to sell, whatever, is going to come in the way of the RFID, because the RFID will be connected with basically that digital ID. All right. They'll put it, they could put it all on one thing. That's what they're going to basically bring it down to. They're giving you all these different, you know, outlets, all right, that are going to all tie back to that RFID at the end of the day. Okay, because all these different outlets that they're giving you is just made for what? It's just made for the gradualism, you know, to get you prepared, prep you up, you know, for what is convenient. Okay, and they're going to make it even more convenient till they get it all on one actual C-hip, man. All right, and everything will be controlled through that C-hip right there. Your digital ID, your carbon footprint, your universal basic income. You see, you're buying and you're selling, your medical records, your this, your that, whatever you want to call it. All right. We've been talking about this over and over and over again, making countless, innumerable videos going out. All right. Based on the RFID, the MOTB, and how it's going to work. All right. Brothers is always coming out from different angles on their videos on how it's all going to tie back, you see? So all that shit is made to be connected to one actual device, all right? And we are not ignorant to Satan's devices, man, all right? Let me grab this, and I'll pretty much close it out. I don't want to make it too long. All right, this is Isaiah 32 and 7. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. All right. NLT says the smooth tricks of the scoundrels are evil. They plot crooked schemes. They lie to convict the poor, even when the cause of the poor is just. All right. So, you know, we have to understand that the devices are wicked as hell. They're just evil schemes. All right. To draw you in to, you know, bow down to their system, to their image, okay, to their ways. And at the end of the day, the Lord's not going to allow any of that, all right, to happen. Why? Because he's going to set a standard against this devil, right? This is Job 5:12. It says, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong, all right? So at one point, all right, the Lord is going to frustrate the plans of the schemers, okay? And that's going to be through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And as a matter of fact, we're frustrating them right now, all right? Why? Because of the mouth of the prophets, which is the mouth of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So as the scriptures tell you, right, this truth is what? Is a two-edged sword, all right? Let me grab that real quick. This is 4:12 in Hebrews, and it reads, for the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. You see? So that's why we're pretty much, you know, we're what was the word I just used? We're bringing the frustration upon them already, because this word is a discerner. Okay, it's a discerner of the thoughts and in the intents of the heart. So we know exactly what this devil's plans are through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? Because only he will reveal his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. You see? So we're able to know what this devil's going to do before he does it. We already know. We're tapping in. Here it is, Esau trying to tap into our minds, but we already have tapped into Esau's mind. Through what? Through these scriptures. Through the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which is the stability of thy times. You see, that's what makes us not ignorant onto his devices, because we have tapped into his mind without a device. He's trying to tap into our minds with a device. You see? See, here it is. He gonna serve us, right? We know that all these nations, and Esau being the top one, right, is gonna serve. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to serve Jake, right? But see, he's a slave unto us already, because we know his intents of the heart, you see? And here it is, he's trying to tap into our thoughts to make us a digital slave onto him, all right? But it's too late. See, the Lord already has won. That's the beautiful part about it, man. That's why this knowledge and wisdom is so important. Because the scriptures say that what? Let me grab that. Isaiah 54:17. And it reads, no weapon that is formed against thee, you see, shall prosper. See, that's a weapon. All right. We know a weapon is also, you know, military might, these military missiles. All right. But this device that he's trying to bring upon us is also considered a weapon, you see. So that's not going to be able to prosper against us. Why? Because we're onto it. It says, and even in every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. Yeah. And he'll try to rise up against us in judgment with his tongue, you know, by doing what? You know, he's going to try to, you know, accuse thy brethren, you know, he's going to try to persecute us. He's going to try to make us look bad among the world. All right. Making us look through his technology and his miracles, make us look like we were doing this, we were doing that, we were saying this, saying that, but it's not going to be able to prosper because we're going to still condemn them through the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you see? That's why it's so beautiful to be tapped into your power, man. Because as the scriptures say, if the Lord be for us, who could be against us? See, so this devil could come out with all the schemes he wants, ain't not going to be able to work against the men of the Lord. As the scriptures tell you in Matthew, the 24th chapter, right? If it was possible that they will be able to deceive, right, the elect, right? Let's grab that. Matthew 24 And where's that at? I think it's 21. Let's grab no, not 21. 24, Salakia. It says 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Hamashiach, or there, believe it not. And that's how he gonna try to do it too. With this digital Messiah that he gonna try to bring out, he gonna try to make it look like that's Hamashiach. He gonna try to make it look like that's your savior. That's your salvation, you know, by the way of this device, this technology, right? It says, believe it not. For there shall arise false Hamashiachs. You see, and that's going to be a false Hamashiach. Okay. It says, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. Okay. And he's going to show you wonders. All right. Through this technology, through his, you know, through his devices. Right. And so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. You see, if it were possible, it won't be possible though. Why? Because the Lord is on our side. Okay. So if the Lord be for us, who can be against us? No one. They can't prosper against us because we're on top of everything before it happens, because the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding the Lord has bestowed upon us. You see, because we have tapped in with the Heavenly Father, he revealed the secrets unto the servants, the prophets. So before these things come, right? What does the Lord say? Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Let's grab that, right? So this is Isaiah 42:9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Okay, so he's already, you know, told us of the former things, the past. All right, and now the new things that are about to arise, right? Arrive. He's going to tell us of those things also, right? It says, I declare before they spring forth, I tell you of them. You see? So we're on to the new gods, the new system that this devil's about to bring upon us, right? Let's grab this real quick. Deuteronomy 32, and because there will be new gods, right? This is proof. Deuteronomy 32:16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. All right, our people, right? As a matter of fact, let's take it up 15. It says, but Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook Yahweh, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to Yahweh, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. You see? And everything that's in the past, everything that's written in our foretime is written for our learning, right? The thing that was is the thing that shall be. Ecclesiastes 1:9, right? There's no new thing under the sun. So these things were happening in the ancient world is going to happen today in these times. Okay, we have gods already that our people have been making sacrifices onto for quite some time. All right, but now those gods have become old. So now they need a new God to bring upon you. Why? Because there's a new world order. So they're gonna come at you with new angles. All right. Same old trick, but new angles, right? So it's going to be new gods that come up newly, right? Whom your fathers fear not. It says, of the rock that begot thee, of that rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful and has forgotten Yahweh that formed thee. You see? And that's what these people are going to do completely in these last days, man. They already forgot about the Heavenly Father. But how much more once they get drawn into the net of Esau, they're gonna completely forget. All right, and then being put in, and that technology being put into them is gonna make them, I mean, completely forget. Because what were they saying when the time came for the Yo Jabba Jabba? Right, a lot of people were getting the Yo Jabba Jabba, and they were saying that they felt something in them when they took these jabs, right? They felt different. They felt like something was not the same no more. Yeah, because that shit tapped into your body in a certain manner. So imagine how much more when they get connected to the system. That system is going to make them feel completely off. All right. That's why there's going to be no hope for you to get this word once you get once you take that RFID. All right. Because you're going to be completely bowed down to this system, completely bowed down to Esau and his God. All right. And his technology. You see? So you're not going to be, you are already not mindful walking in the congregation of the dead, right? But when you take that, you're going to be completely unmindful of who your power is, man, because they're going to have a certain control over you. They're going to have a certain tap into your brain and going to be able to control your thoughts. So they can, if you could tap into a system and hack it, right, and you could delete shit, they're going to pretty much delete all your thoughts, man. Completely erase you, all right, to even think of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. You're not even going to be able to tap into your God gene no more, because Israelites have that God gene. You see, that's how deep that shit gonna go. All right. So again, that's why you cannot be ignorant to Satan's devices, man. All right. So let's grab this and I'll pretty much close it out. This is what did I want? Psalms 30, is it 7 or 37? Let me see 7 real quick. Yeah. It's 37, Salakia. This is Psalms 37 and 7. And it says, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. All right. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to rest in his word. We're going to rest in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, in his wisdom. Right. And we're going to wait patiently for him. The Lord is my shepherd. You shall not want. All right. Because Esau going to try to make you bow down to him and his system and his image, to go to him for the want of all things and nakedness and thirst and hunger. You see, which is a curse upon us with Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. You see, you're going to go to your oppressor for the want of all things. But we're going to rest in the Lord and be patiently and suffer, because patience means suffer. So we're going to suffer it because we know that at one point the Lord is going to stop this devil, right? In the fullness of his sufficiency, he going to return it upon his own head. You see, he going to cause, you know, his enterprise to fall. Right. So it says, rest in the Lord Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord Yahweh, they shall inherit the earth. You see? So at the end of the day, all right, the wicked is plotting against the just. All right. But the Lord said not to avenge yourselves. Why? Because vengeance is his. You see? So we know that there are many devices in a man's heart, but nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord is what's going to stand, man. You see? So that's why we're going to wait patiently for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because his word is going to do you good. It's going to do you justice. Okay? His word is going to come to pass. His promises that he has promised us, right, are going to come to pass. And he going to be there right on time, as the scriptures say in Second Peter's 2 and 9. The Lord Yahweh Shai knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to preserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Right. So the Lord know how to deliver us out of temptation. The Lord know how to deliver us in the time of our afflictions. You see? And what did the Lord say in Revelations 3 and 10? Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Why? Because the Lord know how to deliver you from temptations, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. You see? So by us having that patience, right, that's holding on to your crown. That's holding on to this word. You see? And the Lord gonna be right there on time for you. Okay? So that's pretty much the point. I had another precept. It was just popped up in my head. What was it? Let me read this one more time. Maybe it'll pop up. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee. Oh, that's what it was. The water Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I'll leave you with this. This is Luke 21 and 34. And it reads, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, so that that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. And that's the snare, you see, the hour of temptation, right? Because this whole time he's just been putting baits on his hook, setting all these different types of traps to snare you in that moment, okay? Esau's a cunning hunter. That nigga will wait. He'll wait there all day until you fall into one of his traps. That's why he's got many traps. Okay, that's why he got many devices. All right, because he know Jake will bite on one of them. You see, especially as the scriptures say, your adversary, the devil, is seeking whom he may devour. Because you haven't tapped into your power and you haven't tapped into Yahweh Shai, you're going to be devoured by this devil. You're going to be one of those that are weak links and you're going to fall into his traps. Right? It says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. So we have to stay prayed up, right? Make no provision for the flesh, because when this devil brings this hour of temptation, which is really Yahweh Shai is bringing it, right? It's to make you make provision for the flesh. It's for you to try to fall into your fleshly ways and your fleshly mindset. You see? He wants you to fall into your carnal mindset. He wants you to get out of the spiritual mindset and turn into the carnal mindset. Okay? As a matter of fact, I'll give you a quick example of how he did that with Yahweh Shai. All right? Yahweh Shai was walking in the spirit, and what did he do? This is Matthew 4 and 1. Then was Yahweh Shai led up of the spirit in the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. You see? So Yahweh Shai was walking in the spirit. Right? And when he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungered. He was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came, he came to tempt him, you see? So he came to bring him into a carnal mindset while he was walking in the spirit. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of Yahweh, command that these stones be made bread, you see? And he answered and said, it was written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh. Why? Because Yahweh Shai is the bread of life. So the true bread that you need is this wisdom. You see, you don't need no physical bread, no physical water. All right. The Lord is the bread of life. The Lord is the everlasting springs of water, man. You see, he's the everlasting rivers of living water. So you don't need none of that. Right? Let's jump down to 8. It says, again, the devil taketh him up to an exceeding high mountain and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. And that's what Esau gonna come at you with. Bro, I'll give you all this back, bro. I'll give you food. I'll give you water. I'll give you your family back. I'll give you everything you want in this society if you just take this RFID and be part of my system and bow down and worship me. You see? The same tactic, because remember, what is Esau coming in? Esau coming in the let's grab that real quick. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. I mean not 8, yeah, let's take it from 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, all right, the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. You see? So Esau coming in the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. And the lying wonders is going to be the devices, the technologies, you see? And they're all coming in the spirit of Satan, spiritual counter Satan. You got physical counter Satan, spiritual counter Satan. All right. But physical counter Satan, which is Esau, all right, and any of these other nations that's against you, okay, but the main one being Esau, he's coming in the working of spiritual counter Satan. Because remember, this thing is spiritual before it's physical. So he's gonna try to spiritually get you off of your spiritual journey and try to make you go carnal in your mindset, man. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved, you see? But see, we received the spirit of truth. So that gave us hope as prisoners of hope to be saved, you see? That's why we don't worry about these things. That's why we rest upon the Lord, because the Lord going to deliver us in the time of temptation, you see? So the same way that the tempter came to Yahushua and tried to manipulate his mind while he was down, right? Because that's what's going to happen to us. We going to starve. We going to be thirsting. The Lord going to provide for us, because the Lord said, they shall, my servants shall eat, all right? But they shall be hungry. My servants shall drink, but they shall thirst. But he's still going to put us to the test. We're still going to have to go through it for a couple days, you see? So the Lord going to put us through a certain fire to try as his gold is tried in the fire, in the furnace of adversity, you see? Because he wants you to prove that you worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you see? So I'm not saying that he's not going to feed us, but he's still going to put you through that fire. So there's going to be a time where we don't have something to eat, maybe a couple days, or something to drink a couple days. And this devil's going to be trying to tempt you. Oh, he's going to be in your ear, yo. Even spiritual counter Satan going to be messing with you, trying to sift you, turn you from your faith, desiring, right? He's going to desire, all right? The scriptures go into, when he says he desires, it goes into Sanazio, right? He's going to try to beg the Lord to turn you from your faith. Okay, he's going to try to sift you through what? Through inward agitation, which that word goes into exalteo. He's going to try to sift you through inward agitation to make you think otherwise. Damn, I need that fucking drink of water. Damn, I need that piece of bread, you know? But those that endure to the end, the saints shall be saved. So you keep yourself steady in the faith, unmovable, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Why? Because the Lord gonna save you in the time of the temptation, man. He gonna take you out of that. He gonna make you suffer for a little bit, just a little bit more. And you should be used to it by then. That's why you're going through all these sufferings here, you see? So when that time comes, it ain't nothing but another walk in the park for you, you see? But best believe that, like I said, spiritual kind of Satan gonna try to tempt you, you know, to try to make you turn from your faith, basically, you know. But hey, may Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua be with each and one of us, you know. May we endure to the end. That's something we got to pray on, that the Lord has us endure in the time of tribulation, man, in the time of Jacob's trouble, in the time of the hour of temptation. You see, you got to beg the Lord. You got to literally beg for mercy, asking the Lord to put the spirit on you to be able to endure that, and that he has kasad upon us, mercy upon us, man, you see, to deliver us out of that temptation. All right, and best believe he will, because the Lord is not a man that he shall lie. So if you keep his ways, all right, the Lord gonna keep his word. All right, the Lord said, I shall fight for you and you shall hold your peace. So you're gonna be able to, you know, conquer that flesh. You see, that's why we practice, you know, fasting and things like that, because the time that you don't eat, in that time when the hour of temptation come and you don't eat and you don't drink, it should really just be like another day for you fasting and drawing closer to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You see? So I'll leave it there through the spirit. Lord willing that you were edified. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith, enduring as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. You sisters continue to learn the silence, watching the true men of the Lord, all right, and continually throw them precepts. Oh, Salaki, I didn't even realize that you had precepts up there, brother. Let me bring these out real quick, see what the brother got. Salaki, I didn't even realize because I had turned the camera to a certain way where I couldn't see the precepts. Salaki, let's see what we got here. Real quick through the spirit. I'll grab a couple of them. I ain't gonna grab them all. Let me see. Shalom, sister Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. This is Matthew 13 and 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear them. And Salaka, and to hear. You see, and that's a beautiful thing, man. The Lord has given us the eyesight to see these things, to be able to discern these things through the spirit, you know. So that's why we're able to tap in with the Lord and have the mind of Yahweh Shai, right? This is I quoted that 8 and 31 in Romans. This is I quoted that also. I didn't quote it, I brought it out. If you can deceive the very elect, the brother Kazak put those up. The water brother for them precepts as always. Bring beautiful scriptures. All right. This is Baruch 4 and 7. It says, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to Yahweh. Yeah. You see, and that's what they're going to do in these last days. They're going to continue to keep making sacrifices onto devils. See, they'll make a fucking sacrifice onto Esau and not make a sacrifice onto the Lord, man. They'll bend over backwards for Esau, but won't bend over backwards for this truth, man. You see? And that's the crazy part of our people. That's how bugged and delusional they are. They're under that strong delusion. Why? Because they're reprobate minds and they truly don't believe. So what's going to happen is they're going to give up their bodies. All right, real quick. This is Romans. All right, 1 and 24. Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. So that's what's going to happen. The Lord going to give you up to uncleanness, and you're going to dishonor your body by giving it up to Esau for a for a drink of water, for a sip of water, for a piece of bread. You see, for you to take this MOTB just to get by for a moment and then be destroyed anyway. See, that's the crazy part. These niggas gonna bend over backwards for Esau, but then they're gonna be destroyed right after that. So you basically did that for no reason. You see? This is Proverbs 21 and 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. You see? And you're going to continue to walk amongst the congregation of the dead because you have no knowledge of the Heavenly Father, right? 2 Ezra 2 and 13, and ye shall receive, pray for few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch, you see? That's the spirit that you should be in, setting on your affections on the things above, man. Why? Because the kingdom is prepared for you. You see? Anything that you ask for, as long as you do the will of the Lord, is going to be received. You see, as it tells you in Mark that you ask, anything that you should ask for shall be given unto you. As long as you come to the Lord, not wavering in faith, it's going to be given unto you, man. Okay. Beautiful. This is Psalms 55 and 22. Cast thy burden upon the Lord Yahweh, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. Beautiful. You see? You got to cast your burdens upon the Lord. So when we're not eating and we're not going through, you know, it's not going in our manner in that way. Hey, that's when you cast that upon the Lord. You see, the Lord said, what he say? He said, let go from the mortal thoughts. You see, you got to put those mortal thoughts away. And how do you do that? By casting your burdens upon the Lord. You see, that weak nature, you give it to the Heavenly Father, and the Lord is going to sustain you in that day, man. Okay? This is Proverbs 3 and 5. Trust in the Lord Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not to your own understanding. You see? In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Yeah, he's going to be your guide. Okay? A guide never lets you get lost. If you're on a tour and you got a tour guide, he gonna make sure that he gets you from the tour from the beginning to the end. All right. So the Lord is your tour guide. We're gonna be in a tour soon. In this wilderness is gonna be a tour. But the Lord is gonna be a guide that's gonna direct you, right? Even when it gets real dark, he gonna be that light that gets you through that. You see? So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there through the spirit. Yep, I'll leave it with this one right here. This is matter of fact, I'll grab these last two that the brother put up. Proverbs 22 and 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and he hideth himself, but the simple pass on, and they are punished. You see? The simple are passed on. The simple believeth every word, okay? But the prudent man's going to foresee the evil and hide himself in these scriptures. He's going to hide himself behind the guide. Who's the guide? Yahweh Shai. You see? This is 2 Ezra 14 and 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature and allow the Lord to sustain you in these last days, man. Even when it feels like the Lord ain't answering your prayer. Best believe them prayers is piercing the clouds, man. It's just that the Lord likes to see you make supplication. The Lord likes to be begged for. You see? Because that shows that you need the Heavenly Father. You need him bad. And we all need Yahweh Shai bad. You see? And that's what he wants. That's part of worshiping your power. To show him that you need him that bad. You see? Because then when the miracle comes, the miracle's going to be beautiful. You see? That's why the praise is going to come out even more when the miracle is sustained. When he gives you the miracle, you're going to be praising the Lord so hard. In that moment when you get saved out of whatever it is that you're asking him to save you from, you are going to literally scream the name of the Lord 1,000 times after that, 144,000 times after that. You know, you're going to be just the water, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the water. It's just going to feel so great. All right. And even more when we all get beamed up into the chariots and we all get delivered out of this hellhole. Right. That's why we're going to be on the chariots crying to the Heavenly Father, man. It's going to be tears of joy because we made it. We made it through that. The victory is won. You know, when people win a championship and there's a victory in a sports game, you see people crying. Why? Because it feels good that you accomplished that. You see? So we're going to feel like that in the last day, man. All right. So I'll leave it there through the spirit. Lord willing, you were edified. So with that being said, the water for the precepts as always, brother. The water for tuning in, and the sister too. With that being said, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aquat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith and doing as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. Shalom.